Okay, the next book I want to introduce is one on called Christiane F. This is the American version. This is the British version. There are differences between the two of them, I must admit, because they said that they use an American slang in this version. It's something that, you know, it's like those tiny little bits of detail that you sort of come across. You sort of say to yourself, "Oh my goodness, yeah, it actually says it here at the front of the book." Christiane F is a famous story about a 15-year-old girl in the mid-70s who got hooked on heroin, or Christiane F, that's her name. Then this is the version you need to get. The second version is called Zoo Station, and it's nowhere near as impactful as this story is. My mate Shane read this book and he said he had a nightmare after reading this book. I mean, it's that powerful. Christiane said that she wasn't too up on the film, she wasn't too impressed by the film, but I got to say the film is really, really good. It's just like with the book, there's a lot more detail. Because she came from Hamburg, and I think she moved with her sister to Berlin when she was 12, and she moved to this estate. I think I might have a picture of the estate of what it looks like. I mean, in this photograph it looks really grim, you know, and I suppose that sort of gives a kind of impression how grim it was, if you see that picture there. But I mean, in reality it's not as grim as it appears in that photograph. I mean, you know, some of these, I mean, you know, because I'm at an age where I could have a daughter like at that age. And I mean, it would scare me. And you see how some of because prostitution in Berlin is quite open, so they're sort of standing on street corners and stuff like that. And it's like now this is Zoo Station, the inside of Zoo Station, and I remember going there the first time I was there in the 80s, and I don't know, I had a feeling about that station when I went there. I thought there's something eerie about this station, you know. I really felt it, and but I didn't go into Zoo Station at the time. And they call it Zoo Station because just across the road from Zoo Station is an actual zoo. It's a famous zoo, but I didn't go in there, unfortunately. But let's see. So there's one photo I want to show you. That's Deadlift. That was her boyfriend. Look how gaunt he looks. Look at that. I mean, it's really grim. I mean, this is a really intense story, but it's people. It's you know, it's a story of real people. Whereas a lot of books you've got, you know, they're written by politicians, they're written by soldiers, ex-soldiers, you know, professors and things like that. So you get this impression of what a country or a city is as a result of the books that these people write. But this is a different book because this is about everyday people, and it's about somebody that got caught up in the drug scene in the 70s, so you really get a whiff of what it was like in the 70s. And here she is. She's probably in her 50s, early 60s now. That's what she looks like today. And this is called Meine zweites Leben, which means my second life. So I think that was the ghostwriter there, and that's her there, and she's on methadone now. I suspect she's still on methadone. You know, there's a scene in the film where they actually she's going to take heroin for the first time, but she takes it through her nose, and those that gave her the heroin said, if you take it, you won't ever get off it. So it was a really key moment in that movie. If you watch the film Christiane F, which I highly recommend that you do, you'll see David Bowie in it. David Bowie was actually living in Berlin at the time. You know, that you can't make it up. And he lived not far from where John F. Kennedy gave that famous Ich bin ein Berliner speech. It's a famous speech that he gave. You know, that you'll easily find on YouTube when you listen to the speech. But yeah, and he lived with Iggy Pop. And but because Iggy Pop was always taking David Bowie's food from the fridge, he told Iggy to get his own place because he couldn't stand it anymore. But yeah, he recorded those famous albums, and as a result of him being in Berlin, and he was into the Berlin scene. The producers of the film, Christiane F, asked him if he would make an appearance, and he does, and you'll recognise him because he's wearing a red Harrington jacket, and he sings one of his songs. I think it's called Station to Station, but that's off the top of my head, so I'm not 100% sure.